Alright, okie dokie. What's up, my little red herrings? Welcome back to Redherring Soliloquy. This is episode 2. Today, the title is I don't want to go back to a regular job / my regular job. So it's week, I have no idea anymore, of quarantine. Quarantine has been eased about a month ago, I believe. So people have their jobs back, slowly but surely. I think the restaurants are slowly opening up, but it's slow, I believe, at the moment. Cause I went to my old job, went to visit my old job because some of my friends are there, and it was a bit slow for a Tuesday afternoon, I believe. Like, they opened at 3:30, and they used to open at 11, but since it's so slow, they just started, so they have to cut corners. Yeah, okay, so little bit of backstory. So this is an opportunity to get to know me a little better and my background a little better. I moved from Philippines to Canada when I was 14, and in Philippines you can't get a job or a part-time job until you were probably 18 to 21, and until you finish university. In Philippines, college and university is the same thing. I thought it was always that way, but then I came to Canada and someone explained to me that college and university are two different things. Anyway, yeah, in Philippines you can't get a job unless you were like a full-grown adult. So compared to Canada, you can get a job as early as 15, I believe, with parents' consent. When I was 15, I got my first job at a pizza place in the ferry terminal. Like, I had to get my SEN number, and then I had to be eligible to work in Canada, so you have to be a permanent resident. Yeah, in other places they're really strict about it. It's like you gotta have parents' consent. But in my first job, they were like, are your parents okay with you working? I was like, yeah, absolutely, you can go call them if you want. Yeah, it was a weird experience because I've never had a job before and didn't know what people do in a job. I guess I was just my idea of a job is, I guess, going to an office, doing something on the computer all day, doing their numbers and stuff. Anyway, but I did kind of have an idea of, because like the only job that I knew about was my mom being a teacher, because I bugged her to be a teacher, because when I was a kid, I was like, yo, there's this kid who like tops every single class because his mom is a teacher. So mom, if you go become a teacher, I think I'm gonna top my class. But I then later find out that wasn't the case. You gotta learn to put in the work, study to be a great student. But coincidentally, my mom worked hard. She became a teacher eventually, and then coincidentally, my grades shot up. Like, it went from here to here, and then I was among like top 5, top 6 students of my grade. Totally bragging here, I'm sorry. But yeah. Anyway, going back to the job thing. First job, pizza place. I had fun. I wanted to work, I guess, every single day, but that wasn't possible because I had school. I was in grade 10, I believe. But every time I would go to work, I was very excited because the co-workers that I had, it didn't feel like I was working whenever I was with them. It felt like we were just hanging out doing chores. It's pretty cool, and most of them were Filipino, and they were really, really nice. I'm not friends with a lot of Filipinos because okay, I'm going into controversial territory because most of the Filipinos that I see are like, I feel like they're the king of the world and like they're better than everyone else just because they step foot in Canada. So that's why I have like very few friends. I have like 4 Filipino friends. 2 of them don't know how to speak English because they grew up here, but they're super humble. And then 2 who do know how to speak Tagalog, but they're also super humble, and they're very nice and they're very chill. To the 4 of you, if you know who you are, then props to you. I love all of you so much. Anyways, and then I quit that job, and then I went on to work at a cafe, still in the ferry terminal, but I didn't know this place existed until I was told about it. I think, if I remember correctly, I got recommended by my mom's boss. I helped my mom get a job at the ferry terminal as well. It was fun. It was just me for most of the part. It was like for 2 weeks I was trained. Oh wait, I think a week, maybe 2 weeks. I was trained by the boss and then the only other employee that I was there. And then that employee quit eventually, and then it was just me who worked there for like a year and 2 months. Eventually one of my friends, she worked with me because she was looking for a job. I was like, why don't you come work with me, it'll be fun. But then until I realized that we can't be on the same shift together because the place is way too small that you only need 1 person. For the most part it was fun because when there's no customers and you're done all the cleaning and restocking, just chill there and listen to music and go on your phone. I don't think the thing I like about that job is that the boss wasn't too strict with me going on my phone. Because like I was like, well, I did my things. There's nothing else for me to do except wait for customers, so I'm gonna go on my phone. I was like 16 at the time, 16, 17. So, you know, like at that age, you're addicted to your phone. Yeah, and then I quit that job because I think one of the reasons was I got bored of it, but also it was hard to take days off because I was the only employee and it sucks to like bother my boss to cover my shift for me because that's just unconventional. So I would work Thursday to Sunday every week, and whenever I need to go places, it would be difficult to schedule a day off because I was the only employee and no one would cover for me. And then I went on to work at it was a shoe store at the mall. It was probably the worst job I've ever had because it was the style of work. It was not for me at all. It was like you kind of have to be a salesman and you have to, a salesperson, sorry, and you have to try really hard to get someone to buy shoes. So procedure was, whenever someone walked in the store, you come in, you greet them, and then just tell them that you have this discount, or like if there's anything you need help with, let me know. And you have to do that for every single customer that comes in, and it sucks. It freaking sucks. It was annoying. I'm pretty sure that every customer that I do that to is also annoyed, but that's the procedure. But on the flip side, the pro of doing that, the only pro of doing that is you get commission. So if you sell $1,000 worth of shoes, you get $20. So I guess that's a 2% commission. So, and that's added to your paycheck. And then the boss would not be so happy if you like did not sell anything, so the pressure was on every time you work. You gotta sell at least 1 or 2 shoes so it doesn't look like you're an egg. Yeah, and then I quit that job like 3 months later. And then before I worked at the shoe store, I worked at this I don't know what to call it. It's like a buffet type of thing. It was a Chinese place. It was also in the mall. It was in the food court. And then the boss there were super nice. They're really nice. It's just that I couldn't get enough hours because I believe there were too many people working. Which is fine. It's okay. I guess that job's not for me. So after that, I went to go to the shoe place, and then after that, I went to work in a restaurant. My best friend Kieran invited me to work with him. And then I started out. I've never worked a restaurant job before, but I have experience with customer service because all my jobs prior to the restaurant job have all been customer service. Yeah, it was pretty weird at first, and then I grew a love-hate relationship, but mostly love. Hate because of the customers. And I'm gonna get into that. So, restaurant job, I worked as an expo or an expediter, and what that basically means is that you're the last pair of eyes to check the food before it goes to the table. So if the food goes out to the table and there's something wrong with it, like let's say you forgot something, then you're the only person to blame because you're the last pair of eyes to look at it before it sends out to the customer. But if there's something wrong with the food, then it's not the expo's fault, it's the line's fault because you didn't prepare the food, you just checked to see if everything's right. But it's a different thing when, like, for example, if it's a steak and it's a well done but it came out as medium rare, then you can't really see that unless you cut the steak open, but you're not really allowed to do that. Then I went on to work as a host. So what a host does is you help the servers with whatever they need. So like, let's say if they need you to get something, like take drink orders or take an order because they're really backed up, help them bus tables, greet the customers that come in or the guests that come in, and then you give them their menu, you seat them. So I think being a host is one of the busiest job in a restaurant, next to but like I believe the server has the busiest job of all. So if I were like to rank the busyness, like who are the busiest in a restaurant, I would say the servers, and then the line cooks, and then the host, because the host is basically a jack of all trades, because that host has to help everyone out. But for servers, you're only given like, I guess, one specific role, and that is to help serve the customers. But there are a lot of layers to that, because serving customers isn't just one job. There's a lot to do when you're a server. So you gotta take the drink order, you gotta accommodate for them, you gotta talk to them, you gotta bring their food to them, give their drinks to them, all that stuff. And yeah, being a server is no joke. So if you go out to a restaurant and you don't tip, then you're a bad person. But like, if you don't have money to tip, then don't go to a restaurant. Go to a fast food place. Go to a place where you don't need to tip if you don't have money to tip. Like, you have money to go to a restaurant, but you don't have money to tip. That's just not very cash money of you. But I get it. It's like, we just want to go out for a good time. And it's like, yeah, but don't go $200. Don't make your bill $200 and then give them a $5 tip, because that server did a lot for you, and their job is to serve you. So you have to pay them because they're doing their jobs. They're making sure that you're having a good time, and they're making sure that you have everything you need. And then when you don't tip them, of course they get annoyed, but they're not gonna tell you that because that's just freaking rude, okay? So I'm here to tell you, as a server, if you go to a restaurant, please tip. If you yeah, so that was my experience for work-wise. And then the coronavirus happened, and then I lost my job, or I got laid off slash lost my job, because what happened was, as I said in the last video, I was living in Victoria and I was working in Victoria. So like I worked in a restaurant here in Tsawwassen, and then I moved to the same restaurant in Victoria. They have a location in Victoria, thankfully, and they hired me right away because I had prior experience, which is great. And then lost my job slash laid off on March probably 17th. I was moving back to Tsawwassen anyway, so I handed in my 2-week notice, and I've been unemployed for 3 months, be 4 months now. I've been looking for a job because being on EI is that you gotta be ready to work and willing to work Monday through Sunday. And I am. I applied to a few jobs. I'm waiting to get called back by this restaurant. But the thing is, I don't wanna go back to work, because if I were to go back to a restaurant job, it's probably not gonna be as busy as it was. There's probably not gonna be a lot of people, because people are probably thinking they're not gonna risk their health just so like they can have a couple drinks and a good meal when it's like prone to the virus. They could just do that at home. So the restaurant won't be as busy. I was talking to one of my friends, and he said that he used to earn 12 to 1300 a week, and now he only earns 600 because it's been so slow, because there's not a lot of customers, and the tables are reduced so they can do the social distancing thing. But yeah, it's just that if a job like that crumbles down so quickly because of a pandemic, it's not a very good job to go back to. Like let's say YouTube or making music, for example. You don't have to go outside. You're not employed by anyone except yourself. You can keep doing your job at home regardless if there's a pandemic or not, or if all the things all the jobs or the companies close down, because just working from home, this is your work area. And when you're making music, you can do it in the studio or in the comfort of your home. You can make your own, you can work on beats, you can collaborate with other people through video call, and you can write your songs here. That's what I'm doing. That's what I've been doing. I made a few YouTube videos, and I finished my EP, and I wish I could say that it's a better, I earn better money doing that than working a serving job. But at the moment I'm not, because I'm nobody at the moment. I don't have an audience, and I'm not earning a lot of money. I'm not earning any money from streams. Yeah, but that's okay, because I'm just starting out. And I have more room to grow, and it's only the beginning, because in the beginning that's when it's the most difficult. But the more you do it, hopefully you make it. That's my mentality at the moment. Yeah, I was telling my mom I want to do YouTube, I want to make music, I want to do stuff online, and my mom's like, yeah, go for it, you'll probably earn way more money. And if it was any other Filipino mom, she would be an outrage. She would be outraged. She would be outraged. But my mom's been very, very supportive with my passion, and that's all I could ever ask for, which is nice. Yeah. So I want to take YouTube seriously, but at the moment I'm gonna still look for jobs so that I could save up a little bit money so I can support myself for maybe 6 months and help kick my online career off. At the moment I have enough to help support me, because I'm not paying rent, I'm not paying for food and anything. Just supposed to save the money that I receive from EI, which is pretty good. I've been using some of it for ads because I'm nobody and I want to get my stuff out there. But yeah. Oh yeah, and I also want to talk about my opinion about the things going back to normal, like getting the job, people getting their jobs back, people getting called back to work this early. I think probably not the best sorry for my chair squeaking. Probably not the best option, because virus hasn't the virus isn't gone yet. And it's weird because, like, when there were 100 cases, everyone was so quick to shut down, and now that there are tens of thousands of cases, people are reopening, and that part I don't get. Like, I can't even I can't go. I'm not allowed to go outside that frequently. I can go out like once a week, and that's totally fine because there's a virus. Plus I'm not like going to mass gatherings and stuff. But like being like working and putting your health on the risk if you're not an essential worker, probably not the best idea. Because yeah, like I said, it's just weird that when there was only a few cases, everyone was closing down, and now that there are more cases, people want to open up, and it's very weird. Plus, like, stores are gonna be slow. Like, I guess if you're going for like a slowly but surely we're gonna go back to normal, then I can't do anything about that. But I feel like once people have like earned enough from EI, then and the cases are slowed down, and then the curve has flattened, then in my opinion, it would be a good idea for things to open back up. But yeah, at the moment, just doesn't seem viable. Like, probably in September you can open it up. You could have opened it up in September, but everything's starting to open now, and I guess everyone's eager to go back to normal, even though we should be looking forward to a new normal. Okay, I think that's it for this video. I feel like I've talked about the things that I want to talk about. I think my points came across pretty clearly. Yeah, so let me know what you think. Let me know your opinion. Should people be going back to their jobs this early, or should we wait till like the curve is flattened? Yeah, share this video and subscribe. Share it to your friends so that
Don't call me
I get monetized. stream my EP Forgotten by Terry Red Herring. It's out on all streaming platforms. Peace.
Feeling cloud strife on my back, I got the buster sword. Try to step up to me and I'll send you to the Lord. Got something to prove, I don't wanna be ignored. Set the world on fire, kinda nervous but I'm bored.